We hear a lot about psychedelic-assisted therapy, but 3 out of 4 people who choose to consume psychedelics do so at home or in nature with friends or loved ones. I'm April, founder of Set, an integration platform to help you get the most out of your psychedelic experiences. The podcast episode you're about to listen to may reference one of my previous shows, The High Guide or How to Do the Pot, because I've been a trusted source in cannabis and psychedelics since 2015. I invite you to visit getsetset.com and sign up for our newsletter to receive your free guide on set and setting to make the most of your next psychedelic journey. Hey, it's your host, April. This show talks about altered states of consciousness brought on by cannabis and psychedelics and is intended for audiences 21 and over. I'm not a medical professional. If you are experiencing any mental or physical health concerns, please seek a licensed medical professional. The entheogen we're reviewing in today's episode is magic. But before the magic begins, I have a favor to ask. If you're a new listener or you've been loyal each week, please follow, subscribe, and review the High Guide wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps more people find the show. And I'd like to remind you all that the Entheogen series is a bonus round of episodes we're dropping between seasons. That's right. We are so excited to drop our new season on March 18th featuring Natasha Lannard as our High Guide or Psychedelic Integration Facilitator. Natasha will integrate 3 sister trippers or psychonauts as we explore across the arc of the season the 2 primary themes that Natasha sees many psychedelic experiences come back to: separating our soul from our story and our relationship to love. To remind those of you who've listened to the previous bonus episodes on MDMA, LSD, and DMT, I'm not working with an audio editor, so while I'm going to try to be perfect from start to finish in reading these episodes. Did I just say reading? I mean recording. See, there you go. I probably won't. So laugh along with me with my mispronunciations, tripping over words, although I'm not tripping, I swear, and wandering thoughts. Thank you for listening. Our word of the week is psilocybin, an organic hallucinogenic compound that is the magic in magic mushrooms. There are hundreds of species of Psilocybe cubensis, or fungi, containing various levels of the psychedelic compounds psilocybin and psilocin, each providing slightly different benefits and effects. The dried mushrooms that are ingested are called whole fruit bodies. Ancient indigenous cultures, hundreds to thousands of years ago, ingested Psilocybe cubensis ceremonially, and some even called it God's flesh due to its ability to enhance the mind and spirit. Yes, it still does that. When consumed, psilocybin acts on our serotonin system, causing changes in perceptions check, mood check, and even our senses check. The stoned ape hypothesis is a theory written by Terence McKenna, referring to the link between mind-expanding magic mushrooms and the evolution of our oldest ancestors, Homo erectus, into more advanced Homo sapiens, over 2 million years ago. Today, psilocybin mushrooms are used to treat serious conditions such as depression, anxiety, and end-of-life suffering. Whether you're interested in microdosing, wondering how to intensify your mushroom trip, or curious about the mushroom trip timeline, there are various strains and methods of consumption to experiment with. Psychedelic mushroom identification should not be taken lightly, as psilocybin mushrooms can look similar to poisonous mushrooms, and psilocybin shrooms typically have black or purple-brown spore patterns with blue flesh and gills, and the more blue, the higher the potency. It's a little shortcut. However, slight variations can mean psilocybin isn't present, so beware of psychedelic mushroom identification on your own. And when it comes to finding the right mushrooms, the safest method is to acquire them from a trusted source. In some municipalities, you can even walk into a dispensary. Like there's this church I joined in Oakland called Zide Door, and for $20, I became a member of the congregation. And I had access to a dispensary of mushrooms. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Once identified correctly, psychedelic mushrooms can be consumed by eating the whole fruit bodies, brewing them into tea, or grinding them into capsules for microdosing. So let's go over our trip tips. The effects of psilocybin: changes in perception, mood, and thought, varying levels of visual hallucinations, looking inward, feelings of grounding, or I should say groundedness, connectedness, and euphoria. Less desirable but normal effects include queasiness, nausea, increased heartbeat, and headaches. A lot of these physical side effects can be diminished by making a tea. At least that's what I found. I kind of can get an upside stomach, but the tea really helps. So when you're dosing mushrooms, okay, we have a download on our website that you can go and check out, and it's a guide to using shrooms. So all this is spelled out for you, but I'm just going to give it to you here on the show. You can take notes, or you can visit the website, thehigh.guide. So when you're dosing to microdose, that is 0.1 to 0.5 grams of the whole fruit bodies. A low dose would be 0.5 gram to 2 grams. 2 grams is like a magical dose, in my opinion. Moderate dose, 2 to 3.5 grams. A high dose is 3.5 to 5. And a heroic dose is over 5 grams. We typically suggest that if you're going to be doing over 5 grams, that you have a trip sitter, someone that is not consuming and that can help just, remind you that everything is going to be okay. A psilocybin tolerance can build up over time. And in a future podcast, we'll cover microdosing schedules that have led many women to successful outcomes. Lemon teching is one way to intensify your mushroom trip, because citrus acids can amplify the experience. You grind the mushrooms, you put them into a short glass, add lemon juice. Like I put them into a shot glass, and then add lemon juice, mix it thoroughly. It sits for 15 minutes. And you can even turn this into tea. It's sort of like a lemon mushroom tea. Or you can just add a little bit of water and just take it down in one shot. The mushroom let's talk about duration, because mushroom trips can last for a while. The timeline is as follows. Okay, so the effects are typically felt within 30 to 45 minutes and can last between 4 to 8 hours. When consumed in hot liquid, the effects are felt as soon as 15 minutes. That is true. And the come down, regardless of how you consume it, is 24 to 48 hours. That just means you're going to feel some effects. So if you want to get high again, then you can just smoke some weed the next day, and sometimes that'll bring your high back on. You may feel anxious. I think weed can be helpful, but some people can make them feel more anxious. So take that into consideration and make sure you don't have anything planned the next day. Give yourself some time and space to rest and integrate your experience. On Friday night last week, I took 2 grams of, I had chocolates. And so it was Golden Teacher, was the strain. And I kept my journal out and just went inward and journaled. And it was maybe one of the best Friday nights I've had in a long time. So I encourage you to do the same. Until then, some resources that we recommend you check out: Food of the Gods by Terence McKenna, which explores the human relationship to plants and chemicals over time, which played a crucial role in not only developing species, but whole societies and civilizations. While you're at it, listen to the High Guide episode 33, integration number 5, Take Mushrooms and Make It Happen. This was at the end of last year, and our guests were Livy Smalls, who facilitated integration with Meryl Montgomery, who is a co-founder of Barbary. And Meryl was manifesting her best year this year, so I encourage you to listen to that. We're not even 2 months into the year. There's still time to dose yourself with love and psychedelics and have your best 2022. Okay, I really wanted to find something great to watch that wasn't a documentary about mushrooms. So if you want to get high and watch something, I would suggest Kiki's Delivery Service, which is what I did on Halloween. But if you want to learn more about Psilocybe cubensis, I highly, highly recommend. Netflix's fantastic fungi. A lot of people have recommended this movie, and I watched it, and it is both super informative and it is surprisingly emotional. I did cry. And as we close out this episode, this short bonus episode, I'll leave you with this quote. I am a creator woman, a star woman, a moon woman, a cross woman, a woman of heaven. I'm a cloud person, a dew on the grass person. And this quote is from Maria Sabina, who is a Mexican healer and shaman who introduced Psilocybe cubensis to modern culture in the mid-1950s. And she very quickly regretted that decision. You can read more about her.